The next section of our program will be driven by Dr. Dominic Oduro-Antwi. Now let me say a little bit about Dr. Dominic. Dr. Dominic is the president of GATAC. Now you might ask, what is GATAC? GATAC is the Global African Trade Advisory Chamber. And so it's an organization. So I'll let Dr. Dominic talk about GATAC. But then there are two sections he's going to talk to us about. So he's going to talk about GATAC and GATAC. And then he's also going to talk about doing business in Africa, promoting mutual understanding and collaboration in global trade. And so I'm going to invite Dr. Dominic to come to the podium, or probably at his seat, wherever he's comfortable. And then we can ask questions once he's done with this presentation. Thank you.
To Your Highness and your team, Iris and the rest, I'm very grateful. But basically, I came to talk to you about Africa. Africa in the sense that there's so many negativity around Africa. I've done 32 countries now. There's nowhere I will accept all the negative things, because in each country there's a problem somewhere. So if you don't need Africa, don't do business with us. All the gold is in Africa, whether you like it or not. I was just telling the one who brought me from the airport to Ottawa, or you say Ottawa, that Ghana has taken over from South Africa as the world leading producer of gold. Yes. We used to be, and then they took over. We have a very special trade link with United Arab Emirates. For most of you know Dubai. They used to buy gold from us. Now they are not buying gold. They mine gold from Ghana, because it's a deal. All right. I'm going to talk about these two things. The first one has got to do how we arrived at Global Africa Trade Advisory Chamber. So 6 years ago, I started this chamber, that is Ghana-India Chamber. I realized that the Indians and the Chinese, they have the biggest population in the world, and therefore I have to utilize it. So I sought the permission of the Ghana government. I did all the things that I was supposed to do. There were a lot of resistance, but at the end of the day, I made it, because it's not the first time I've introduced something to the country. So everybody was doing Ghana, US, Ghana, Canada, Ghana, So I said Ghana, India, but I did not allow the restriction of just Ghana and India. I went beyond. Why? Because in Canada, you have Indians here, you have Ghanaians here. So I did not allow that limitation. So in 4 years, we expanded to 19 countries. And I realized that, why don't we move on to a bigger item that is Global Africa? It was very tough. Don't forget, Ghana now hosts the Africa Continental Free Trade. For those of you who know, all the 54 countries in Africa, they have one common platform they operate, and the head office is in Ghana, just like AU. So it was a very tough one. Foreign Affairs will not grant this opportunity for me, but I was able to go through. Why? In acquisition of knowledge, most of you, we all went to school, but that is the knowledge. We have to add wisdom. So I have a mantra, and I say that in acquisition of knowledge, add wisdom. So I went to the Foreign Affairs, and I went to the powers that be, AU. I was in Washington, D.C. as well, to convince them that you have Africa Continental Free Trade that can only operate with one. Government entities, government institutions, and different countries. What about the private sector? So that was the wisdom that was there for them. So at the end of the day, they allowed us, and now Global Africa Trade Advisory Chamber is in 23 countries as we speak. Okay, I saw very few people clapping for me. But that is fine. I still love you both. So we decided to do business, and this is how we operate. We want to make sure that, first, the negativity associated with Africa is taken off. 2, Two, we only promote positive things about Africa in terms of trade, in terms of education, and then also connectivity. There are a lot of people that have invited me to come and visit them or speak. I don't know any of them. Some of them I don't know them personally. We just linked them on LinkedIn. And that's how we started growing. So we wanted Africa to have a particular way of operating, where it will not just be, oh, let's go to Africa to donate to the orphanages. Oh, there are poor people in Africa. No, please. There are poor people everywhere. Bronx. I have been there. I used to be in Jersey. So the important thing is, what impact can you make in that small locality where you find yourself? It's not always about trade. It's sometimes about connecting people. You understand? When you connect, somebody connected me to Her Royal Highness in Ghana. I invited her for my event, and today I'm here. So connectivity is one of the most essential commodities we have now, not just gold and diamonds. The other thing I want to also talk to you about is how do we make Africa a good place for all of us today? You always want to come to Africa, make your own small investment, or every December you would like to visit, especially those who like Ghana. Every December we have a lot of people visiting Ghana for different reasons. It can be tourism, it can be business. But if you have something that I need and you live in Canada, why don't you share with me so that I can start doing that business in Ghana or any other African country for you? As we speak, we're doing a lot of work with Kenya. The Kenyan president paid a visit to Ghana a few days ago. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I couldn't move, because all the chambers were involved, the Minister of Trade and all those people were there. You can't even move because the president of the country has asked you to stay. Why? Kenya is now saying that most of the African countries, when you come to my country, don't take visas. Although we have ECOWAS. ECOWAS is just the West African states. Kenya is not part of ECOWAS, but you can understand what he's doing now. He's telling you don't need any visa to get here. When you just arrive at the airport, just enter. So let's try and also project Africa in that positive way. And I'm hoping to get more people who would like to do business with us. Not just business, we also promote education. The Chamber has a foundation. Every year, I give 10 scholarships to people to go to India, especially. And then we also invest into university students who are already doing business on campus. We have also launched what we call Knowledge Bank. Knowledge Bank is a program for the youth in Ghana that allows them to sell their concept. And as a chamber, we have investors who will push their money in, and we're able to help these people to realize their concept or their ideas. That's what we do. We also indulge ourselves in women in agric. So those of you who are interested in doing agribusiness, we have a particular niche as a chamber where we encourage more ladies to go into agribusiness. These are some of the things that we do. And today, I hope that you have the opportunity to ask more questions. I'm not the speech kind of person. You saw Dr. Ricky giving you speeches. In fact, he would have even done illustrations. But I prefer questions and answers. And things that you don't really understand about Africa, whether democracy or war or anything, please, I'm here to discuss it. And I'd like to thank all of you for having me. And I'm open for business. Africa, this is our time. Africa, be vigilant. Thank you.